Hello and welcome to the Handicapable Black Woman Throne Room. My view of humanity is a whole new tea. Hi, hello, how are all of my royalty? Let's get some bubbly hot tea or some ice cold, whichever you like. But yeah, let's dig in. So sip, nibble, and enjoy. Because it's a dating nightmare, but it's about appearance today. And if you all have been listening to my 600 episodes, you will already know that on my standard sheet, I don't have anything that mentions looks. I'm pretty open minded with who I date. And yeah, it's like a lot of well, certain people really don't like that I don't care about race, nationality, all that. Yeah, it's like I want a big heart. Some men think that once they tell me how many inches they are, yeah, they think that's the big thing that matters. Well, if you have a big and a big yeah, and you only have a small yeah. So I like certain things big, but I like big ideas, big open mindedness, big on empathy and things and compassion and spirit and personality and all that stuff. And a lot of that comes from the brain. Yeah. So, yeah, if you're with me, you're with me. But, okay, because it's really interesting because, yeah, I like with dating and with the guy that yeah, it's like I'm gonna keep his life private and everything because yeah, I want to. It's my decision and I that's kind of like well, I talk about my exes, but I met them before I started the channel. And also one of them literally blackmailed me and manipulated me into dating him. And whenever I said I want to break up with him, he would threaten his life. Yeah, and or punching walls and things like that. And he tried to uh, like do a crime and put it on me so that once if a black woman gets arrested, all of a sudden, oh, I have no choice but to date him and stay with him. And I've already told the Valentine's Day story. I think I know I told parts of it, but yeah, when I cooked him a dinner, the picnic, and everything like that, and yada yada yada. Time went by. He was supposed to be off work, and hour after hour. Next thing you know, he brings home. Yeah, if you know, you know. And then with Mr. No Heart, yeah, this is where the story gets interesting because with a lot of these men, they say they like you, they love you, they care about you, they want you, they desire you, they're attracted to you. But then when they get on online, when they get on the apps, when they get in public, when you see them looking at other women, and it's always a woman that looks different than you, but the way that they look at them is different than the way they look at you. And or because Mr. Lockakey kind of did that. And he might blame me saying that I didn't keep up with myself and everything, even though yeah. I did, but there were some times where I gave up. The pain was starting in my legs and my life was complicated enough and my having issues with my mom based off of my appearance to the point where yeah, another topic to talk with my therapist about because I don't know the when it comes to beauty and beauty standards and especially being a black woman, the beauty because colonizers try to and certain demographics, especially part of the brown community, they love dogging on us, they love hating on us, they will steal parts of our culture but while dogging on us, they will put us down and say we're not smart enough, good enough, capable enough, or anything like that. But they'll start with the corn rolls and some of the African American type of hairstyles, but they have no problem saying that they are against the Crown Act. So that they will put those same styles in their hair while voting down the demographic and the people whose culture it's from. But I don't know, it's just, I guess it's really confusing. And at the same time, okay, I'm going to do some story times because with Mr. No Heart, he he damaged me in a different ways than some of the other exes. Because there's some exes who would tell me that I dress too much like a Christian girl and or too much of a square because I mean I was brought up in the church and my parents were very strict and like my mom like who the way she guarded our clothing, and I'm a curvier girl, so my mom wanted to make sure when I wore pants or tops that men couldn't tell. Like I wore mostly t-shirts throughout grade school, especially high school or whatever, because my mom like yeah, it's like there were some shirts she was like, "You're not going to school with that." No, I don't want like no. It's like she was like, "You're trying to get attention. You're trying to like," even though I wasn't. I was born curvy, or like I mean, especially at puberty, yeah, and that's like I didn't get that part from my mama, but probably I kind of hear maybe my grandma, but I'll never know. I don't know. Unless some of my, aunts and uncles actually spill the tea on that, but they don't. They don't. Whatever. But anyway, it's just crazy because with some of the exes, they would putting me down. Like they would date me, but then when they would put me down, and then they would try to change me with based and tell me how I am supposed to look. And then with my hair, everyone was telling me I had bad hair. And so my mom braided my hair for years and years and years and years and years and years. And I wanted something else, but I didn't know what else because everyone was telling me that I had bad hair. But then some people were telling me if you wear sew-ins or wigs or whatever, you're no good or you're trash or whatever, whatever. And there was years where and then I already think I told the story about, I've told so many stories now, but I know I told parts about how I ended up with relaxer in my hair for a few years until, yeah, I'm the gray sheep. Oh, I disappointed my mother so much because, yeah, I stopped getting relaxer and she kept yelling at me. And then I did the big chop, but I had a wig. And so she didn't know I did the big chop until months later because I was already pushed into it because my mom told me that no job was ever going to hire me. She said no man was ever going to want me with my hair looking like that. But then when I started wearing wigs and sew-ins, then she was like, "Oh, why are you doing that? You must hate yourself." And it's like, yeah, okay, if you're the one that tells me that no one's ever going to want me with my hair looking a certain way, but then with these relaxers, it's like I couldn't. I can't. No. It's like I didn't want to in the first place. And I hated the fact that while, like, I was literally being traumatized while my mom was doing it. And so then when I started getting a hairstylist and I was asking the hairstyle, well, first I'll tell you why my mom traumatized me, then get back to that. And this is probably going to be a two-parter, so don't be surprised. But my mom would be putting the relaxer in my hair, but then saying, well, it's like your GPA isn't high enough in college and you're probably going to be a failure. It's like your sister's smart. Why aren't you? You should have been doing better. You should be trying harder. But listening to this the entire time. Oh, your hair is awful. You don't have good hair. It's like it's a shame because like you would think that like you would try to get a man, but it's like I don't know what you're planning on doing with your hair, but even though she's just like yeah, so she would be talking about my bad hair while working on my hair, but if it's still bad even after you like, and so yeah, yeah. But then while I was trying, like I've already told this part over a year ago, I think that when I started going to hairstylists, they would be telling me I had bad hair, each one of them. And so it's like I started over I think it was like the last year and a half, like 20 it was 2020, late 2023. no, late 2024 to 2025. I kept, might have been part of 2023. You know what? Whatever. Yeah, I'll include 2023 in it too. So I kept seeing and hearing different African American women who have natural hair tell other women, African American women, if you don't have natural hair, you hate your hair. You hate yourself. If you wear wigs or whatever, you hate yourself. And it's like, I loved my natural hair. I still did. Like, that's why my, under my sew-ins and under my wigs, it's natural, and I'm doing things to grow it out and things like that. I'm hoping to grow it out long enough so that I can have like a big, nice, beautiful afro. But am I there yet? No, because a lot of trauma in my life since being diagnosed with a disability. It sucks, it does. But the toxicity within the African American community and hair, but then while already going through toxic things, is like trying to get the Crown Act within Congress, but then we have a country that already hates us. So, of course, they are not going to try to do something that will help us and assist us. But then when they try to ask Marjorie Taylor Greene and Lauren Boebert about their vote, because well, let's just say one of them was acting a little racist with her comments about the Crown Act and things like that. Actually, both of them, but one of them more heavily. But she tried to make up an excuse of why she was trying to say those race, because she was like, "I'm not racist. I just blah blah blah." Yeah, no, you said something racist. You said something racist. Yes. And you've said a lot of things that are racist. So it's like, yeah, once you, it's like if someone said it one time, okay, maybe a mistake. But if you've been a bigot throughout your entire life, and when you put down, especially black women, so much, just like your dear leader, you're a bigot. Okay, okay. But so trying to go to hairstylist, and then while getting like, I'm trying to tell them that I don't want relaxer. I want to go natural. And it's like, can you recommend some things that I can do? Why do you want to do that? Why do you want to be natural? Uh-uh. No, you got bad. Oh, look at this hair. Uh-uh. I'm not working with this hair anymore. Okay, then do you have anyone else you would recommend me to? You think I'm going to send you to someone else who can give them your money? Well, I don't want to give you my money anymore. Basically, you're telling me that, like, because I don't want to put a toxic chemical on my scalp, because I never wanted to begin with. I was pressured by my mother. I was told no one was ever going to hire me, no one was ever going to date me or marry me if I did not put this toxic, burning crap on my hair. Yeah. And I'm done with it. I don't want it. But it was like one hairstylist after another hairstylist after another hairstylist. Then finally I went natural, but then went to the hospitality school. And then they told me like what the like, oh, for you to get a job interview, we are going to relax your hair again. Yeah. So then yeah, like a year or two later I did it all over again because I was like, no, I was like, they're not hiring me anyway. So because of how I walk. Well, some of it was racism because, yeah, I do remember with one of the hotels that I interviewed for, one of them was, they kept asking, like, even the shape of my eyes, and also asking, like, if I had an accent or I must be from somewhere else. And I don't, it was just really odd. Yeah. But it was to a point where I'm just like, I don't want this toxic stuff in my head anymore. I'm tired of this. I'm tired. And so, yeah, went natural. But, and also, it's like, it's crazy because I see other women with braids, with wigs, with sew ins, and things like that. And they go around and move around like, I don't, and it's like some men say I need to buy more expensive ones, but and part of me is just like, And so, yeah, maybe mm, with all of the things that's going on in my life, maybe I'm not a match, or I wasn't a match, and at the same time, I'm still learning the culture because I was not allowed to do so until I was of an adult age. But then I grew up in an area where you didn't see anybody with that. It's like in a city next door, but not in the city I'm from. So, but while dating and everything, it's like I would see like the guys looking at the women with more of the urban look, but I didn't grow up with the urban look. So I don't know. It's just really crazy now because now, like later in my life, I am finally like able to try to look like who I want to be. But then it's crazy because with Mr. Lakake, oh, like that man cheated on me so many times, so many times, and with urban looking like like he dated women that looked totally different than me. Totally different than me. And how do I know this? Because he took pictures with his phone when he was under the special candy. Yeah, remember he's the one with the special candy addiction. And with his smartphone, he was so high as a kite. He would take footage and show me. Yeah, he took pictures and showed me. And sometimes he brought them to the house. He was so under the influence, he brought them to the house and introduced me to them. So this is why I know exactly what they look like. I know exactly who they are. Yeah. Especially that Valentine's Day. Yeah, yeah, that Valentine's Day. Go look that episode up. So then with Mr. No Heart, he was different because he wanted nothing to do with me. Like he dated me, but he only wanted to use me. He only wanted to take advantage of me. He didn't love me. It's like the times he said, "You can't say I don't love you." Yes, I can easily. Because he did as much as he could to make sure that I was as unattractive as humanly possible. Because when, like I've mentioned this before, but whenever we would go to the grocery store or go out and run errands and things like that, if a guy even came up to me, oh, well, let me get the door for you, beautiful. Oh, you have a beautiful day. Oh, look at you. You look nice today. Mr. No Heart wouldn't talk to me. He would ignore me. For hours, we would get back at the house, we're putting up groceries or whatever. He'd walk right by me. Even if I'm at the cupboard where he needed something to go, instead of handing it to me to put it up, no, his arm would go right by my face, in order to put it up. He had no respect for me. He didn't like me. He didn't love me. He didn't care about me. He had no empathy, compassion. None of that. None of that. And so that's why, like, any ladies who might be listening to this episode, be careful. Listen to those signs. Listen to what a man says. Look at his actions. Because some women are going around excusing this nonsense, and I'm gonna marry him anyway. I I think I stuck with him because he never wanted to get married anyway. So to me, I was like, I knew I wasn't going to be caged up and locked in that relationship because he was never going to marry me anyway. I felt safe because at least I know he would never ask me that question. At least I knew that I would never have to say that I'm related to bigots because, oh, his family, in my opinion, of course, in my opinion. But yeah, once you say that the only reason I got into college is because I'm black, you're a bigot. But anyway, it's like the way he treated me. And so I stopped like, especially I was teaching at the inner city school where kids threatened to throw bleach at me. They would threaten to light me out, like light my clothes on fire. Like they did all types of threats, all different types of things, and wrote them up. But yeah, the Miss Know It All or whatever, that crazy. There's so many things I want to call that no good woman, in my opinion, of course, in my opinion. But yeah, she threw them out, threw those write ups out. So yeah, catch up if you need to. I talk about all of this, but Yeah, if I'm teaching at a school where kids are threatening to damage my clothes, I wore some of my cheapest outfits and I wore them every single week. I didn't care. Some of the students said, "Oh, she's poor." You wish you would. No, I'm not poor. I wear my poor outfits for you guys because you threaten me and tell me that you're gonna damage them. Yeah, that's why I wear these dresses. I was like, and actually, they weren't even, those dresses were not cheap, actually. Got them on sale and the original price, yeah, but yeah. It's like, I started wearing them at different jobs or whatever, but it got to a point where they were the easiest, it was the easiest and quickest outfit, and an outfit where if they got ruined, well, whatever, I didn't care. And so, anyway, yeah, that plus the treatment of Mr. No Heart equaled, I didn't care what I wore anymore. I didn't. I absolutely didn't. With Mr. Lockakey, I would kind of sometimes wear cute outfits, but it's like I was already working the promotional modeling and I was finishing up my second master's and like going to job interviews and volunteering at different nonprofits, and I was like all over the place. So to me it's like, yeah, I didn't have the date night type of stuff often or whatever. And but if he told me ahead enough or in ahead of time, yeah, that's what I want to say. I would try to get my stuff together and or I would try to coordinate an outfit ahead of time if I had the time and to at least look nice and stuff. But I've kind of noticed how, especially with technology, guys would say that they're interested in me, but then turn around and I would see the women that who they follow and that they hit on. Because yeah, there was actually one guy who matched with me, but then wanted to follow me on Instagram, Facebook, whatever. And next thing I know, I see some of the things or the people that he's following, and especially when the women are in very exotic outfits outside. And yeah, the women were absolutely beautiful, nothing against that, but I look nothing like these women. But then I started realizing he's not attracted to me, just like Mr. No Heart, he's attracted with what he can possibly get out of me. And his words even said it because there are some men who like a lot of men wanted to change me. Either they wanted to change me in order for me to quit my goals and jobs and opportunities so that I could stay home and they can run me and they can force me and take control of my life and so that they can feel like they have ownership of me. And that's a heck no. That's a heck no. No, I'm not that type. And a lot of these men now are realizing that's not me. That's never going to happen. But then there's other men like Mr. No Heart who wanted me to, they would tell me that everything I was accomplishing was because I'm black and that everything that I was doing was no big deal. And, or they would beg me to start a business and things like that. And then they would beg for me to pay with my credit card, and they would beg for me to go get like the certifications and also the supplies and different things that we needed in order to do it, all with my money. They didn't pay 1 cent because of their low credit score, but then 6 months later turn around and tell me, oh, never mind, let's quit. Yeah. So they want to use my money, want to use my resources and things like that. Yeah. But then also at the end of the day it was really crazy too because like I don't know, it's just if you're going to try to convince a woman to buy a house and then you're going to promise, I promise I'll buy you a dog. I promise I'll buy you a dog once you buy a house. And then you realize he only wants you to buy the house because he wants to live in the house. He doesn't want to pay rent anymore. This man has done absolutely nothing for you. He's done nothing. He's only taken. But now he's figured out a way like, oh, I'm going to pretend I'm giving her something. And then even with my surgery, I had terrible medical insurance. So I had to pay like a lot for my like with the tests, the MRIs and everything like that. I had a lot of bills to pay with that. What was he gonna do with the money he owed me for the vehicle that he had to buy, but he needed to borrow money from me because again of his low credit score? Because his truck broke down. And what truck? The truck that got repossessed before. But yeah, he wanted me to help him out, not his mother. But now I realize he was lying to me because his mother would have done it. But he didn't want her to find out. So he lied to me in order to get me to help him do that. He paid me back for that one, but never paid me back for thousands of dollars worth of gas money because everyone was telling me just give him time. Once he gets his life together, he's going to pay you back the money. That was a lie. He never did. Even after breaking up, and I asked him, like, are you going to pay me back for the business stuff, for the gas, for like all the stuff that I've done for you? Yeah. This no good. Oh, he's no. In my opinion, of course, but if you've been listening to the episodes, I have enough evidence to prove he is no good. You know? You know. So, yeah, this is going to be a part two because the women he looked at with the adult films looked nothing like me. They had one feature. They had one feature that I have in common with those ladies. And I think that's the only reason he wanted to date me. Oh, other than my credit score, other than me saving money, other than he saw opportunity because I'm responsible with my money and I budget and I hustle hard. Like I was doing the promotional modeling and the teaching and oh, not only teaching K through 8 but part-time professor. Yeah, and secret shopping. Like when I was working, I was working. But yeah, that was the only thing he was attracted to. He saw the beauty in my wallet. He saw the beauty in my bank account. He saw the beauty and opportunity to take advantage of a woman because he saw the pain that I was struggling through all through my life because of my physical and mental health. He saw my walking getting worse. And he knew he would take advantage of it because he didn't see another man ever wanting me, loving me, caring about me. He saw that. He saw me as a victim. He saw me as prey. Yeah. And he knew if he tried to play his cards right and pretend, but at the same time, he didn't know I wanted to break up with him so many years earlier. But then he never wanted to get married. It's like I knew I wouldn't have to be stuck with him. Once I was done, I could be done. I could just walk out. And my walking was getting worse. So part of me was just like, you don't really care about me. And it's really complicated because he lied. And that's another thing, like with his brain, like he knew I was a sapiosexual or that I am, but like back then, like he pretended, he lied. He was like, oh yeah, I want to do these studies and blah, blah, blah. And I am so this. And he would show me his, like, I'm going to do computer builds and I'm going to do this and that or whatever. But after 3 to 6 months, oh, that was gone. Like, oh, let's watch documentaries and do this and that. Like, all that was gone. Having the deep conversations, that was gone. He only did that until he could try to catch my wallet. He only did that until he can catch what he can take advantage of. Yeah, yeah. The beauty of a hateful, awful, terrible, just despicable human being. Yeah. But, anyways, there will be a part two. Thank you so much for listening to the Handicapable Black Woman Throne Room. I am a woman, I am of color, and I am handicapable. But most importantly, I am human, and you're human too.